Hello, YouTube. All right, so today I have a spreadsheet here, and what the spreadsheet is it's a tool for rolling sextants. So what it does that will help you roll sextants is it pulls the value of each sextant mod from TFT and places it here on the left, and it does this automatically. And I'll go into how to set this up for yourself here in a little bit. The other thing to note though is sometimes when it like goes to update, it does take between 30 seconds and a minute to fully update. There's nothing really, as far as I can tell, that I can do about that. It's just the how it updates with the JavaScript, the code, the background. It just takes a minute. So there's really nothing that I found that I could do for that. I have tried to make it more efficient, and it is what it is. So you'll see here the times 401. So right now, if I refresh this, you'll see that like this will say updated last at this time still for a second, and then give it a second, and it'll change. You'll see. There you go. So now it's changed. So it just takes a little bit. Not a big deal, but just something to be aware of. So here, I think this is the right one. Cool. The problem is when you go to open this yourself, if you refresh this, it'll still take a second to open everything, whatever. But this will actually this is just not going to update. And that's because the scripts aren't running. And it's because you're not the owner of the spreadsheet. So I'll go into how to fix that and how you can set up yourself here in a little bit, but I just want to explain the spreadsheet first. So what we have here, and actually let me go back here because I need to change some stuff. What we have here is, again, we have the values on the left side, and that's how much each sextant is selling for, or each compass, I guess, is selling for. And then on the right side, you've got some math stuff, and that's going to help us calculate the expected value of every roll of a sextant, right? So you've got the weight of each sextant appearing, which helps calculate the probability. You've got the actual probability of the rolls, and this is calculated without the three blocking sextants. And then you've got this weighted value, which is just to help with the expected value calculations. So that's this left side. On the right side, what we have is the first line here is the sextant price, and we grab this from PoE Ninja. And then here's the cheap mod threshold. And what that is let's say you don't want to roll any, or you're going to roll over anything that's not at least 6 chaos, right? So you would say 6 here, and you'll see that now everything under 6 is going to be highlighted in red, but also this profit per sextant roll is going to show this, is going to be updated, right? And so you've got the two numbers here. You've got the profit per sextant when you roll over the cheap mods, and then you've got the profit per sextant when you keep every mod. And so that's what this cheap mod threshold is. So you're going to make less per sextant, but you're only going to have the high value ones. So you can kind of take that as you will. You can do whatever you want with it. You can play around with it. I think usually if you just keep every sextant and sell them, then you're going to make the most profit. However, there's a good chance that like some of these just aren't going to sell, or you're gonna have to have them in a pretty high amount for them to sell, like a high amount of bulk rather. Sorry. So that's the spreadsheet. That's what it does. It just basically it helps you calculate how much profit you're gonna make per sextant roll, and it can kind of, and it also tells you like the value and stuff. So down here it just says here's the mods we blocked. You don't really have to, this stuff right here isn't too valuable, just other than saying like, hey, here's the 3 mods that this is assuming you're blocking. And basically what it does is it looks for the first 3 with the highest weights. And so there's still like some other ones like rare map rare packs here, stuff like that. But these are just the first 3 that it found. So you can choose this. Like I think a lot of people usually like to block one of the shrine mods they don't like or whatever. So you can kind of switch these out with any of the other weight 1000s, and it'll kind of, the math will work out the same. This is just how my script decided, hey, these are the first 3 that have the highest weightings, and that's what we're going to block. So, but the magic really happens right here. This is what will tell you what the profit is. Cool. So that's what the script is. Let's go into get it, how we're going to get it to working for you when you open it or when you change this cheat mod threshold. So first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go up to File, make a copy. And so one thing to note is this little warning right here says app script files and functionality will also be copied. Please review the attached script. So this is always a good idea. I promised, I wrote all the code here. It's all mine. I promise there's nothing here, but I would advise you not to take my word for it. Just like any other time when you're writing or you're executing code that some third party made, don't take their word for it. If you can help it, you want to ask like maybe the community. There's a lot of programmers in the community, so if you're not one of them and you can't read code, you can ask someone or a friend or whatever just to make sure it's fine. And there's a couple ways to get there. You can just click this and it'll pop out into like this the script and it'll show you everything here. But we're going to come back here in a second anyways. So there's another way to get to it. So make a copy. It'll take a second to load because my internet sometimes sucks. And also there's kind of a lot going on, to be fair. Cool. So now this copy is yours. However, you'll see that like stuff still isn't updating. So if you say 10, for example, this will update because this right here is actually just some like basically Excel magic, or sorry, Spreadsheets magic, but it is an actual code doing the highlighting. However, you'll see that this doesn't update the profit per Sextant, taking into the cheap mods into account. And this updated last doesn't update either. And it's because all that is done by code, right? So what you have to do is go up here to extensions and hit app script. And this will load. So this is another way to get to the code to audit it if you want. But then what you're going to want to do is go over here to triggers. So the alarm icon, click that. Add trigger down here. And so we're going to do this 2 times. The first time, the only thing we're going to change is just choose which function to run. We're going to change this to build spreadsheet. And then we're going to hit save. Now this is going to take a minute, and what it's doing is it's kind of like it says loading data, but it's going to have a pop-up here soon, or it should, unless my browser blocks it. There we go. And this is what this is going to do, is it's going to ask for permission for the code to run. So you're going to choose whatever account you want, and then you're going to hit advanced here, and you're going to go to untitled project, and then you're going to hit allow. Alright, and that's going to create the first trigger. And what that does is on open, that's this build spreadsheet. What it does is it grabs all of the information from TFT and POE and Ninja, and then just fills out the spreadsheet every time you open it. And then there's add trigger for the second one, and what we're going to want to do is actually choose calc weighted value with blocks and cheat mods. And then we're going to do selective int type, it's on edit, and then we're going to hit save. Alright, so now you've got your 2 triggers. So that second one, what that does is that's what actually causes this right here to update its value. So now if we say 10, you'll see that it doesn't update. Hold on. There we go. It's because it didn't. So the reason it didn't a second ago is because I just put the same information in, so it didn't actually recognize it as an edit. But now if you do this, you'll see that we get we can get this like number changing. It'll tell you like, hey, you probably shouldn't exclude anything less than 10, right? So I think 3 is like a reasonable value. You lose a little bit, but or 4, you can kind of play with this and decide. So but yeah, that's the spreadsheet. That's how you make it work for you. Hopefully I didn't say too many times. I've been trying to cut that out. I even have a whole outline. I just did it again. So, but that's the spreadsheet, and this is a good tool, I think, to help you figure out if you want to do the Sextant rolling, which mods to keep, which mods to roll over, and then you can use POE Stacker or TFT list or bulk trading tool or whatever to list these on TFT. So yeah. that's that. Have a good day.